Hi, this is Sally's Book Talk, bringing you the best books from around the world every day. Today, I'm introducing a book called Spencer's Happy Education. China has many stories of arduous study, like tying one's hair to a beam or prodding oneself with an awl to stay awake, which are well known.
Nowadays, aiming for a top-tier university while pursuing joyful learning seems almost impossible.
Qian Wenzhong from Fudan University gave a popular speech titled Education. Stop making concessions to children in the name of love. He lamented, "Why should education be joyful? I just can't wrap my head around it." The book we're recommending today offers thorough reasoning and abundant examples. Perhaps it can help Mr. Qian Wenzhong find clarity. The author, Herbert Spencer, born in 1820, was a renowned educator and philosopher during Britain's Victorian era. He served as president of 2 universities, including the University of Edinburgh, and was a member of multiple national academies of science. Spencer was an encyclopedic figure, contributing to metaphysics, religion, political rhetoric, biology, psychology, and more. He even formulated the survival of the fittest evolutionary principle before Darwin, earning him the title Father of Social Darwinism. His book, Spencer's Happy Education, is considered the foundation of Western joyful education. Philosophy. This book profoundly influenced modern educational concepts in the West. Particularly in family education, it's hailed as the Bible of parenting, comparable to Rousseau's Émile. Like Émile, this book centers around a protagonist to illustrate its educational philosophy. However, while Rousseau's Émile was fictional, our book's subject, young Spencer, was real. The protagonist is the author's distant nephew, raised under these joyful principles. Young Spencer enjoyed a happy childhood, was exceptionally admitted to Cambridge at 14, and was no bookworm. He achieved great success both personally and academically as an adult. This makes the book a compelling and practical educational classic. The book spans 250,000 words across 20 chapters. I'll now explore this book through 3 key questions. First question: how should we perceive children and the ultimate goals of education? Second, to achieve these goals, what qualities, abilities, and knowledge should parents and teachers help children develop? Third, how to make learning enjoyable for children. First question revisited: how should we perceive children and education's ultimate purpose? Spencer's first insight directly addresses modern education's pain point. He vehemently opposes single-dimensional IQ determinism. He believes children's talents are multidimensional, with IQ being just one aspect. He categorizes children's potential into 7 types: linguistic, musical, mathematical, logical, spatial, bodily kinesthetic, intrapersonal, and interpersonal intelligence. Spencer argues that except for extreme cases, most children don't have high or low IQ. Intelligence manifests differently. Therefore, educators should focus on discovering children's unique potentials rather than weaknesses.
Constantly criticizing children's shortcomings can destroy a child who might excel in other areas.
So how do we identify a child's potential? Spencer provides 20 diagnostic questions in the book. Parents can observe children's responses and behaviors to identify strengths. For example, if children recite poems rhythmically or correct adults' grammar errors, they likely have linguistic talent. If they can distinguish musical instruments by sound, they possess musical potential. Some children ask philosophical questions like, "When did time begin?" Or practical ones like, "Why don't asteroids hit Earth?" Those who organize chaotic items systematically show mathematical logical intelligence. Children who rarely get lost in familiar places or draw detailed maps demonstrate spatial intelligence. Early mastery of shouting or talent for mimicking movements indicates bodily kinesthetic intelligence. If a child keenly notices emotional changes like sadness, frustration, or happiness and responds appropriately, it indicates strong interpersonal intelligence. Children who love role-playing and creating improvised scenarios demonstrate strong interpersonal intelligence. Spencer's groundbreaking contribution was advocating for children's rights over a century ago. In this book, he enumerates children's rights, including freedom of speech, independent thinking, fair treatment, and freedom of choice. Spencer believed education should cultivate independent, joyful individuals rather than obedient subjects for authoritarian systems. From character building to lifelong learning habits, children need capabilities to adapt to our evolving modern society. This vision holds crucial relevance as AI advances exponentially.
If 70% of current jobs vanish in 30 years, what education should our children receive? Can education focused solely on test scores and diplomas survive such seismic shifts? Can it lead to true life fulfillment?
This demands our serious reflection. This concludes our first major question. Spencer rejected singular IQ theory, identified 7 intelligences including linguistic, musical, and mathematical logical talents. He therefore advocated celebrating individual talents and respecting children's rights. Now to our second question. What qualities, skills, and knowledge should educators help children develop? First, Spencer prioritized moral education above all.
He warned that greater capability without virtue increases societal danger.
How did Spencer implement moral education?
Not through rigid doctrines, but by fostering love and respect through real-life ethical situations.
When young Spencer was 10, the author once needed to deliver medicine to his gravely ill father, and the boy insisted on joining. It was pouring rain and getting late, but after hesitating, the author agreed to let them rush medicine to the elder.
Though exhausted upon arrival, young Spencer genuinely experienced concern and love for his grandfather through this act. His first words upon waking next morning were asking about Grandpa's condition.
This is emotional education, through familial love, the foundation for compassion towards others.
Compare this to exam-oriented Chinese parents who might say, "Stay home and study. Exams are coming."
Secondly, Spencer advocated holistic education without subject segregation. As philosopher-sociologist, Spencer approached education systematically, emphasizing comprehensiveness. He categorized essential knowledge into 5 types. First, knowledge for immediate survival, physiology, psychology, self-preservation instincts, understanding physical. Mental health sustains well-being. Second, indirect survival skills, physics, chemistry, sciences, enabling livelihood and material progress.
Third, parenting knowledge, currently absent from education systems. Many parents lack child-rearing skills let alone effective educational methods.
Parenting skills should be cultivated during adolescence. Fourth, civic knowledge, understanding rights and obligations as society members. Why pay taxes? Where does tax money go? Fifth, arts and hobbies, knowledge for self-cultivation and fulfilling lives. These categories follow logical progression. First, ensures basic survival. Second, develops capabilities to understand and improve the material world. The third category equips us to raise healthy offspring. The fourth category helps improve our world. The fifth category enables fulfilling lives through joyful learning, not forced cramming. This concludes the second question. Spencer emphasizes character education and holistic learning beyond subject divisions. Question 3. How to make learning valuable knowledge enjoyable, creating future-ready individuals who understand why and what we teach. How to implement this practically. The book's central theme is joyful learning with actionable methods even novice parents can apply. Let's explore Spencer's first secret, game-based teaching over rote memorization, starting with his approach to mischievous children. When local school administrators sent Spencer's 3 expelled troublemakers, who kept being returned by parents. After multiple expulsions, he gladly accepted the challenge. Spencer found inherent joy in education itself, a mindset that multiplies teaching effectiveness. He began with a welcoming ritual, taking the boys to earn money at a lumber yard instead of formal lessons. This built trust with children who saw school as prison, establishing relaxed relationships first. Then, using custom card games originally designed for young Spencer, he identified learning obstacles. The game involved 12 cards with questions, clues to uncover root causes of learning difficulties. For example, share your unhappiest memory, or what do you dislike about yourself? Evaluate people around you, or hug your favorite person. Players take turns rolling dice to pick cards, answering questions, or following instructions, similar to truth or dare. Through this game, Spencer discovered one child's deep connection with nature hindered classroom learning. He taught the boy animal study methods, eventually nurturing him into an ornithology expert. The other 2 became a renowned physician and respected clergyman through similar guidance.
Under singular academic standards, many adults fail to recognize talents, leading to frustrated learners. When problems escalate, conventional methods often miss root causes of children's struggles. Even genius potential can be crushed by misguided parenting or teaching.
Spencer's card game effectively addressed these communication barriers.
The Spencer cards became globally popular, adopted by families worldwide. You can try this with family or classmates. It's remarkably effective.
Similar game-based methods were applied to math, language, geography, etc. When young Spencer struggled with math, a number grid game was invented, jumping steps corresponding to numbers. This kinesthetic approach quickly developed numerical intuition. Arithmetic relationships, addition, subtraction, were taught through movement-based calculations.
Equations were solved through physical jumps, multiplication tables mastered in 2 afternoons.
Other tools included word mobiles, wooden tags with vocabulary hanging by beds, bed tag by pillow. Morning greetings and bedtime chimes hung by windows carried relevant vocabulary, gradually forming proverbs or nursery rhymes. Drew. Interacting with these mobiles, young Spencer casually learned French and Latin. As he grew older, the chimes evolved to display physics and chemistry concepts matching his evolving interests. Let's examine Spencer's map-brain method for developing observational and memory skills. Unlike conventional geography classes, Spencer engaged children by requesting maps of their daily routes, marking turns and landmarks. Though initial attempts were crude, Spencer offered genuine praise to encourage improvement. By age 12, young Spencer had compiled extensive map journals, greatly enhancing his cognitive abilities. As Spencer noted, children's interest indicates mental readiness. Disinterest signals inappropriate presentation or timing. He opposed rote memorization, advocating timeless classics when memorization was necessary. Even then, proper methods were crucial, like chanting Chinese poetry rather than forced recitation. Spencer's second secret. Positive reinforcement maintains enthusiastic learning states. Take moral education. As example, the essence of teaching humanity. How to cultivate genuine character through joyful methods. The most effective approach is leading by example.
Spencer observed, uneducated families with alcoholic fathers and gossip-driven mothers essentially abandon children's education. Children from such environments rarely receive proper guidance.
True education begins with caregivers embodying desired virtues. When parents demonstrate kindness and curiosity, children naturally mirror these traits. This organic modeling creates lasting moral foundations more effectively than lectures. When parents model authenticity and accountability, their children naturally develop similar virtues. Beyond leading by example, when young Spencer expressed desire to earn respect but lacked direction, Spencer provided 7 guiding principles. For instance, I want my child to show compassion and comfort those in pain. Crucially, Spencer never used these principles to shame the child during mistakes. Instead, he celebrated every small good deed with specific praise aligned to these values. This encapsulates joyful education, sustaining enthusiasm through positive reinforcement rather than criticism. Parents can keep a journal discreetly recording children's kind acts. Then, share these observations later. Imagine children's delight hearing their own goodness acknowledged. Powerful motivation to grow. Third secret, transforming mistakes into joyful growth. Opportunities. While valuing ethics, Spencer warned against forcing moral perfection, which breeds vanity and emotional suppression.
Such pressure prevents children from becoming genuinely good-hearted.
Surprisingly, Spencer believed occasional minor mistakes provide valuable correction opportunities. Natural consequences often teach better than parental punishments. Example: letting a child experience hunger after missing mealtime teaches better than angry lectures. Natural consequences demonstrate life's cause-effect relationships more profoundly than artificial discipline. Children accept these lessons willingly, embracing self-improvement. This progressive growth fosters authentic achievement and happiness. These nuanced approaches truly demonstrate an educator's skill. Ultimately, the goal of control is to relinquish control. Education's highest form is not teaching, cultivating lifelong self-education, habits where joyful learning becomes an inner calling. Spencer's nurturing of young Spencer perfectly achieved this outcome. Let's revisit the book's key ideas through our 3 core questions. 1. Spencer believed every child has unique talents, opposing singular IQ theory by proposing 7 distinct potentials. Thus, he advocated appreciating individual talents and respecting children's rights. 2. Spencer bottomized character education, advocating holistic learning beyond subject divisions. 3. 3 pillars of joyful education: game-based learning, positive guidance, and leveraging mistakes. That concludes our exploration. Keynotes are below the audio. Until tomorrow, dear listeners.